Hello, hola, bonjour, ni hao, sasriyakal, salam, namaste. Welcome to my channel. I'm Divya from the Storytellers Pune, and here is your story. Once upon a time, Akbar the Emperor asked Birbal, his Hindu Prime Minister,
Birbal, when God is all powerful and all knowing, then why does he have to take birth on earth in human form? In your religion, especially, it is believed that God has to come to earth several times in many varied incarnations to save the earth and its people. But when God is omnipotent, why doesn't he solve our difficulties sitting in heaven itself?
Birbal, the wisest man in Akbar's court, did not give an immediate reply, but requested that he'd be given some time to answer the emperor's query. A few days later, Akbar, along with Birbal and a few other ministers, were out on a boat ride on the Yamuna. Closely following the royal yacht was a boat full of the king's guards, all fierce and highly trained and prepared to lay down their very life at the mere wish of the emperor. Akbar's yacht had travelled some distance when suddenly Birbal exclaimed,
Jahapana, look over there! Shehzada Salim is drowning!
Birbal pointed towards a distant object, bobbing perilously in the river. Akbar looked in that direction where Birbal had pointed. Due to the distance, the profile was not clearly visible, and all that the king could make out was someone attired in the royal clothes and very close to drowning in the water, if not hurriedly rescued. Akbar became very anxious.
Birbal, are you sure that is Shehzada Salim? I can hardly make out anything from this distance.
Birbal replied,
Yes, my lord. That is definitely the prince. I will immediately order the royal guards to proceed for his rescue.
Before Birbal could utter another word, there was a loud splash. The emperor himself jumped into the water to save his drowning son. A powerful swimmer, Akbar soon reached the prince and managed to pull him to the shore. There, as he turned over the body of his son, he was shocked to see that instead of the Shehzada, it was a wooden mannequin that someone had dressed up in the royal clothes. Soon, Birbal also, along with the other ministers and guards, reached the bank and, alighting hastily from the boat, made his way towards the emperor. Akbar saw Birbal come near him, and he said sheepishly,
Birbal, I'm afraid someone has played a joke on us. This is not Shehzada, but a wooden statue which has been dressed up in royal clothes.
There was a moment's pause, and then Birbal said,
Jahapana, that person is no one else but myself who has played this joke. What?
thundered Akbar.
Birbal, there had better be some good explanation for what you have done. Otherwise, I will have you beheaded for this.
Akbar said in a voice quivering with anger. Birbal replied calmly,
Definitely, my lord. But whatever I have done is nothing but a reply to the question you had put to me in the court a few days ago. Question? What question?
Akbar asked, irritated. Suddenly, the king remembered the conversation that he had with Birbal a few days ago and his query regarding why God needs to incarnate on earth.
Oh, yes, I remember now. But what about that? And how is that question related to what has happened today? My lord, it surely is. But first tell me, why did you jump into the water today?
Birbal asked.
Well, didn't you see? I thought it was a prince who was drowning, and so I jumped to rescue him.
Akbar replied. He was clearly annoyed.
Yes, surely, my lord. But still, I was there. Other ministers were there, and of course, the royal guards too are present. You could have commanded any one of us, and without a moment's hesitation, we would have jumped into the water. You know, my lord, that our lives are for you. Yes, Birbal, I know that you are very loyal to me. But I just could not hold myself back. I just had to go to my son's rescue.
A faint smile played across Birbal's lips as he replied to the emperor.
So you see, my lord, when God, our Supreme Father, who loves us more than anything else, sees his children in trouble, He too cannot help himself. He too has to jump into the worldly ocean to rescue his children from the misery and suffering that they are going through and to guide them back into his eternal abode.
Akbar was very impressed with Birbal's answer. What he said made sense to him, and so he rewarded Birbal handsomely for his wit. I hope you enjoyed this story. This is an Indian folk tale from the famous series Akbar and Birbal. And I have my doubts about this story, listeners, because most of these stories were written after Birbal's death and not when he was alive. And many of you may agree that stories of Akbar and Birbal and stories of Tenali Raman often overlap. So I don't really know where the story falls, but the message that the story has to give is incredible. It completely beautifully encompasses the emotions and the role of a father. If their child is in trouble, they will always jump and be at the forefront to save their child, no matter what. I have seen this in my father's case. You see, my father, he lost his father when he was merely 7. His mother raised him up, and his mother played the role of both a father and a mother in his life. But when he had me, even though he didn't have a reference frame, he tried to be the best father he could. He never made me feel inferior in any way. He was always so proud of me. He guided me time and time again with great advice, and he was strict whenever it was necessary. I always look up to my father and I wonder how he did it all. There were times when I was nervous and I used to doubt myself, but he never doubted me or my abilities. He always believed in me. Whenever I asked him, Daddy, is it going to be possible for me? Is this possible? Am I going to achieve things? Am I going to achieve this goal? He would say, I have no doubts. It's going to happen. Just go do your best. And that's all I needed. I remember I was once standing on the stage all nervous, stammering just before my speech. And I saw his face in the crowd, beaming at me with that smile. And instantly I felt so relaxed. I reminded myself, I am his daughter. He believes in me. I can achieve anything in this world. I'm sure many of you may relate to this. Fathers normally are not able to word their emotions in beautiful sentences or clearly say, I love you. But they show their love in a very different way. By asking these questions like, what are your career plans? What are you doing on the job front? What are your investment plans? Don't drink and drive. Why aren't you wearing a helmet? It's late. Why aren't you home yet? And many a times we find these questions so invasive and intrusive. We get irritated by these questions. But you see, the base feeling is love and concern. No, it's not about society. They don't care about what this person thinks or what that person thinks. No, that's what we feel they care about, but that's not true. They care about us, our safety. And I have seen at times when I really needed my father, all I needed to do was a phone call and he was there. He was always there and I could always count on him. And I'm saying was because right now I'm not living with my father. I'm far away from him. My father is in India while I'm elsewhere. And I miss his presence so much. There were so many great fun times we used to have. And I really miss that. So if you are with your father right now, enjoy these moments while they last. Because great dads are very rare, and if you have one, show him the love he deserves. Let me know your thoughts about this story. Also in the comment section below, tell me what makes your father the greatest father. Normally I post a story every Monday, but today I'm making an exception and I'm posting it on Sunday because it is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all of y'all out there. I'll see you again next Monday with another story. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.